It's just been pretty chaotic over here with these crazy power outages. We've been going without power at times for 9 hours a day and even more than that. So South Africa's power problem most certainly does not seem to be getting better anytime soon. And not only that, I just feel like the energies of this year and even last year, which is dragging off over into this year, I feel like, we've gone through one hell of a crazy emotional roller coaster. I know I most certainly have. And I would like to think that many other people have as well. And it's interesting. All my life, I believed in more. And as much as I could have said I would have anticipated this time we're in now, it's also left me extremely dumbfounded and completely surprised. And I feel like I'm gaining more and more awareness every day. I feel like in the past I was super duper naive towards how evil this world is and how important certain laws of our heart are in order to ensure that, we stay on the straight and narrow. I've been alive for a total of 31 years, and I keep saying this. In the 31 years of observing human behavior, as well as everything I've been taught in the history of Earth, and then particularly the Bible and the historical context that paints. I'm pretty much, after everything I've been through and after everything I've experienced, many times I'm actually really speechless, to be honest with you. I've seen stuff that I didn't think I'd ever see before. And things on Earth, there's things taking place here on Earth that I didn't expect. Although, it's just like, when you anticipate something, but then it actually happens and it's like completely different to what it is you imagine it to be. That's pretty much how I feel like being here on Earth. I'm just going to be honest, right? Where do I go with this? So, I don't know. I mean, guys, this world is so crazy. Let's start there, first of all. This world is so insanely crazy. It's insane. Humans are insane, scary beings and animals because they do all sorts of crazy stuff. We live in a world which is predicated by violence and empires which have been built through the use of violence that currently exist today. It's a very violent world we live in. And you ask yourself questions. Why is the world so violent? Why do we have so much more of a likelihood and probability to have more psychopaths running around us than anything else? Why is that the case? I ask myself these questions all the time. Why is the world so messed up? Why are humans behaving the way they are? And you ask questions like this and you want answers, and where do you look? Where do you get answers to questions like that? And then sometimes I look at Bible verses describing the time we're in now, and it blows my mind, Let's start off with the forbidden fruit, okay? Whether you believe in the story or not. The story goes Adam and Eve, I'm not going to go into the story, you know the story. But the whole thing was Eve ate the apple because the serpent convinced Eve that she could become like God. And one of the things we're warned about in the Bible is like vanity and ego and lovers of self. heavily warned against that. And I just find it quite crazy to think that, when you read a verse like that at a younger age, it doesn't make sense. But now in the age we're in, so many verses make so much more sense than they ever have before in my whole entire life. One of the things that says that in these times, men's hearts would grow cold and people would become lovers of self and lovers of money. Which is crazy because we live in the epitome of human civilization, of vanity of humans. I mean, think about it. We've got these social media platforms. We've got however many fashion brands, however many luxury fashion brands, which blow my mind how people actually spend so much money on clothing. I'll never understand it. It will never make sense to me. Where people are so obsessed with themselves more than ever. So this world has created that. It's like Sodom and Gomorrah on steroids. And I think Sodom and Gomorrah is such a good story. It's such a good story. It reminds me of the power of God. A lot of people don't even believe in God, let alone the power of God. But based on what I've been experiencing and learning and connecting to God and having these visions and these dreams and stuff, I can confidently say that God is extremely powerful. Which blows my mind because I ask myself the question, well, why doesn't he intervene right now? But when I look at how God exists and permeates throughout all reality and all variability, it's a level of intelligence beyond anything that I could ever imagine. And the reason I say this because when I look at the patterns and the connected dots in my life and life in general, it doesn't make sense. It's just so many coincidences, and it's just, you're looking at it, and the only way I can look at all these data points in my life and try and make sense of them is through divinity, divine intelligence. It's the only way I can make sense of the insurmountable amounts of information and data points in my life that I've used to find out that there is a pattern throughout my life. At the end of the day, I'm happy, I'm healthy, I'm alive. And that's a huge blessing. And I'm surprised I'm happy and I'm healthy and I'm alive, to be totally honest with you, because of the stuff that's happened to me in my life. I don't know how I'm still alive. The only way I can, after trying to explain how I'm still alive and looking at all of these correlations and seeing, and the only way being able to explain the coincidental nature of the fact that I'm alive, it blows my mind. And I know a lot of people have experienced this sort of thing, where there's been a certain level of divine intervention within their life. So right now in this crazy world, the reason I'm speaking about God is because God is the only legitimate anchor I have to actually keep me sane, to keep me from losing it, to keep me happy in a world that does all that it can to destroy your happiness. And what makes me unhappy is when I look around at humans and what's happening on earth and the coldness in the hearts of man and the vanity that produces more cold-heartedness, produces more narcissism. And I look at my fellow brothers and sisters here in the world, and it's insane what we've done, what we've allowed, and where we are right now. It's insane. How the fuck, excuse my language, I'm gonna swear in a bit of this, because sometimes the only way to express what is going on is through some swear words. So excuse my language if that offends you. But how the fuck did we land up here? How the fuck? I know how we landed up here, but I'm looking at it and I'm just like, holy shit. We've got 8 to 9 billion humans on this earth with no guidance, with no wisdom, with no actual knowledge. And you have these social media devices and Western culture programming everyone. And everyone's become desensitized to everything. Violence, sex. We're being fucking programmed, and it's annoying. It's really annoying looking at the fact that the people who are controlling all the information that gets shoved in your face Whether it's a billboard, whether it's your phone screen, whether it's a TV, whether it's a radio, whether it's a conversation about some popular news narrative that's being discussed amongst your local community. The human mind is so valuable and so delicate, yet we have people fucking experimenting and playing games with our minds every day. Every single news article is like some sort of experimental trial to see how it is that we behave and react to these things. And for the most part, these people have gotten it down to the T. They know how to keep people distracted, they know how to keep them satiated, and just absolutely not bothered. And if I just look at the 31 years of my life, because when I was born in 1991, and that's when the TV started really getting somewhere in reality, right? So I grew up in front of a TV like many other people. And throughout time, and I've watched a lot of TV, I've watched a lot of movies. And I would say in the earlier portion of my life, I was behaving incorrectly because of this false vision portrayed and how it would affect my peers, and that peer pressure would lead on to you. In order to try keep up this image of this fake reality we're watching on TV, like when you watch TV, you have to realize like you are watching a fake reality. No matter how you look at it, it's not completely and entirely representative of the real reality in which it is we live in. Look what TV's done. Sex is just, pornography was legalized. Huge mistake. Huge mistake. Like we can look at all these things that have happened because of humans and their choices, and we can see how it's just completely destroyed and degenerated human consciousness, human behavior, the choices humans make. When I was, and I'm going to go into this in length in this video. I'm going to give you some context of where my head's at and how I'm thinking about this. When I was in primary school, I don't know what grade it was, maybe 4 or 5, some kid brought like a playing card to school, one single playing card. And on that playing card, it had a naked lady. You could see her boobs or whatever. And I really wish I never fucking saw that at that age. I really wish that didn't even exist. Because on some level or another, it made an imprint upon me and my behavior. And like a child should never have seen that. I should never have seen that as a child. Now, we have sex fucking everywhere. Like sex and children are two topics that shouldn't go together. They really shouldn't. Because, what's happening now, guys, is that they're trying to go ahead. If all the shit that they're not doing already is not crazy enough, the AI, the synthetic food, 15-minute cities, this gamification of citizenship, the hybridization of plants, genetic modification of plants, genetic modification of animals, supposed cloning of animals. I won't know that until I see it for myself. And playing with the human genome. They're not only playing with the human genome, they're playing with every fucking genome they can. And I don't think they know what they're doing exactly. I mean, I've looked at the technology, and sure, it does some damage. But it doesn't do all the crazy stuff that they want it to do, like hack our bodies, hack our minds, hack our thoughts, control our thoughts, introduce new impulses towards our thoughts. You have to remember that every single bit of information, we've been living in an information vacuum, a vacuum of information. And this information has been controlled by certain gatekeepers and channels, whether it is the scientific community, whether it is the media circus, whether it's Hollywood, news agencies, whatever. We've been living in a vacuum of information. And we've been living in a vacuum of information that we can't even totally verify. We don't know the validity of most of this information that's being thrown at us, which is a huge problem. People just expect to tell you stuff and just expect you to believe it. And that's how it's been our whole life. Nobody answers, nobody questions anything. And that's really dangerous, as you may know. So that's the one end of it. So we've had people delivering us information, a worldview. And they have been designing and testing. You have to remember that these institutions and their communication channels, they have a lot of people within psychology, and all these fields of expertise that specialize within the manipulation of human beings, the manipulation of our minds. And there's huge fields of science and research for years into this. So you have to realize whether it's an advertising agency that's delivering you communication or whether it's a scientific institution, that information is being crafted for you specifically. And they're heavily taking you into consideration within regards to how it is you're going to receive that information and how you're going to react and respond to receiving that information. So we've been guinea pigs towards an experiment of manipulating and controlling ideologies and beliefs within the human mind, which is kind of scary if you think about it. Because everything we know about ourselves has been heavily influenced by this environment we exist in and this information vacuum that exists within this environment. So everything we know or we think we know has come from only the information that just so happened to have been available. And if you think about it, the information we consume affects our development. It affects our psychology. It affects our behavior. And now if we look at the behavior of humans here on Earth, well, let's look at it for a second. Okay, we have people addicted to both illegal and legal drugs, like never before. We have people who are addicted to illegal and legal drugs like never before. There's a legal opioid epidemic. And then there's an illegal drug war. I mean, you have to think about it, guys. People are eating opioids. Like, our planet is so crazy. Our Earth is so insane. And our people are so insane that the resolution towards dealing with this insanity has somehow become, well, let's just feed them opioids and medication that we have no idea what its actual effect and long-term effects will be. We got no idea of playing with the chemicals in one's brain. If you look at the illegal drug side of it, there's drugs fucking everywhere. The drug culture is stronger and more profitable than it's ever been. And you know, with drugs comes depravity. So let's start with the drugs, for instance, right? Because we got the illegal drugs, we got the legal drugs, and then you got the fucking drugs in your food and your water. Chemicals, one chemical after the fucking next. We can't even pronounce them. We don't know what most of them do. We consume them anyway. It's all experimental. And, you know, and then you've got people spraying shit in the skies. So if you manage to stay clean from the legal drugs, the illegal drugs, the food, the water, well, you still got to worry about fucking shit being sprayed in the skies. Micrometals, aluminium, so forth and so on. And then you want healthcare because everyone wants to live, right? Nobody really starts worrying about shit in their life until their life is like heavily affected. But you got healthcare where they will put, which comes back to the food and the chemicals in the food, people losing their teeth, bad health, bad dental hygiene. Guys, we're being blasted with fucking chemicals that are doing all sorts of shit to our body from every single direction. So the scariest part about it all is the legal drug administration, because a huge proportion of our population is fucking high on legal drugs. If you really want to dumb it, they're high on legal drugs. So, dude, what the hell do you think is going to happen when you start pumping chemicals into every aspect of life here on Earth? And then all those people that are responsible for making these decisions, for doing this, for doing that, they're all high on drugs. You know what drugs do to you? Drugs destroy your morality. Drugs breed depravity. They breed bad behavior, whether they're legal or illegal. Okay, and then there's another drug. There's the pornography and the sex that's sold to us every single day. It's all chemicals and energies and shit, right? Here's everything. And then the media. The media is your other drug. So we live in a world fueled by addiction. And what do we know about addiction? Addiction and depravity and depression come hand in hand like this. So when you start looking at the world and the world population, you got to remember, guys, that the people that you're living amongst, they're fucking high. And then you've got another addiction, which is information. Information in itself is an addiction. People learn so much about so many things, but they never gain any knowledge or wisdom about anything. You know? And here's all these addictions, you know, whether it's media, whether it's TV, whether it's fucking legal drugs or the foods we're eating, or meat. Meat is an addiction. It clearly is an addiction. It must be an addiction, because how can it be that humans just don't even give a shit about another life of another life form? And it's just like, well, it tastes great. We're addicted. We're addicted. We're so addicted that we're willing to harm something else or someone else in order to fuel our addiction in one way or another. You live in an earth full of crazy fucking people who are also addicts, if you want to break it down. You live in a world full of drug addicts. Whether that drug is the fucking media, or adoration, or fucking whatever. We live in a world full of drug addicts addicted to all sorts of shit. And a lot of the times they're addicted to more than one of these drugs. You get the people, listen to this is how crazy this shit is. You get the people who are going and saying, oh, I've got a chemical imbalance for my depression. I need to get some legal drugs. Okay, cool, here's some opioids. But guess what? Those same people are doing the illegal drugs. Don't ask me why, I don't fucking know. And then, you know, you see it, the cycle just continues. You live in a world full of crazy people who are also drug addicts and addicted to all sorts of shit. And addictions come with depression, and they breed depravity. Like, if you go hang out with people who do drugs, like, you can bet your bottom dollar that their morals are going to be lower than other people's morals. Their principles and their prioritization over their values and their morals are going to be less. So if you think about it, you know, that's in an extreme case where we see like people in some drug house, you know. But the whole earth's a fucking drug house. Look at the whole earth as a drug house. People are fucking hooked on all sorts of shit, bro. You know the number one thing people are not hooked on for the most part? They're not hooked on God. They're hooked on everything else except God. Even the ones that claim to be hooked on God, you know, they don't know God. Because they still go around fucking fueling their addictions, judging each other, doing fucked up shit, thinking it will have no consequence. You know, I look at life. Some people say life's a game. You've got some people walking around saying that life is a video game. This shit's not a game, guys. This shit's serious. Like, this is life. Life is precious. Life is fragile. Life is valuable. And I believe life is eternal. I most certainly do believe that. But we're never going to find that out if you've got a whole bunch of drug addicts and depraved people running the world. It's going to be very hard for you to find that out. You know, we're born into this godless world, and if that isn't enough, it's like, yeah, here's all your distractions. Let's just get you addicted to something to help you cope with the fact that this world's being run by crazy people, you're surrounded by crazy people, and you're surrounded by drug addicts, so let's just all pretend that it's all good. And of course, this doesn't account for everyone, but the vast majority in proportion of Western culture, they're drug addicts, guys. The people who are delivering you news, who are delivering you information, who are delivering you entertainment, they're all high on drugs. They admit it themselves, whether it's legal or illegal. So my point that I'm making here is, you can't trust another mortal. You can't trust mankind. mankind has done fuck all. Of course, there's been good, sincere people throughout our history, but for the most part, guys, like, mankind, we're all crazy people who have lost our heads and who are addicted to something. You know, I don't want to be a crazy person. I want to have clarity. I don't want to be addicted to shit. I want to have mental clarity. So the reason I'm speaking about this is because this affects your life, what I'm speaking about, one way or another. It affects the people you're around, the information you're around, the energies you're around, the emotions that you'll feel. It affects all of us. And we have to kind of like, somebody's got to say what I'm saying right now. Somebody's got to say, listen, guys, this is a situation. The situation's not good. like this is a talk people don't want to have. But we have to have it. Guys, we live in a world full of drug-addicted, fucking narcissistic, sociopathic, and sometimes psychopaths. Right? I mean, for people to go and shoot up a fucking school full of children, there's got to be a real problem. It makes me sad. It's not really a fun thing to talk about. It's a very low vibe conversation. I can understand why people may not want to listen to this. But ultimately, I don't plan to be sad forever. This is why I meditate, why I pray and do stuff like that. And focus on goodness and good things. But, sometimes you need to be able to look at the world for what it is, So it's no wonder we behave how we behave, guys, because the people who are calling the shots here on the earth are fucking crazy people who are insane. And I often wonder, I'm like, are these people like religious? Are there some religious cults? Or what the fuck is causing these people to think like this and to behave like this? And right now we're pushing boundaries we've never, ever, ever pushed before as humanity here on Earth. Are you kidding me? Gene editing? Guys, we should have stopped when they started gene editing plants. We should have stopped when they started doing that. But now they're actually going ahead and fucking, dude, they want to genetically modify God's creation, human genome. That's a big fucking no-no. If you want to find out if God exists, go edit the human genome. Because you'll find out soon enough. Once you start playing around with God's creation, you'll find out soon enough whether or not God exists. And we're getting to the point now where humans have been pushing and pushing and pushing. And doing whatever the fuck they want. And the other humans just sit by and watch it all happen. They watch it all happen. They don't care. They don't give a shit. Nobody cares. Of course, people care, like you guys watching this video. But for the most part, as well as I do, people do not care. They don't give a shit. Are you kidding me? Have you seen what's happened? Let's just do a little recap, for instance. Balenciaga gets caught out for having a fucking convicted pedophile creating a pedophilic freaking advertisement. And the whole world got angry about it. Not the whole world, but people are still buying Balenciaga. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, they don't give a shit. And they're still paying whatever crazy-ass price that fashion luxury brand is charging. If you want to know if Earth is fucked or not, just look at that one fact alone. They're still buying Balenciaga. Probably even more than ever before, which is probably the scariest part. Guys, for years, they've been desensitizing us towards sex, towards homosexuality, towards this trans agenda. And now they're doing a very good job in desensitizing pedophilia. And they're doing a good job of it. If you don't think they're doing a good job of it, well, think about what you've been seeing on the news lately. Oh, there's drag queens at school. With kids, you've got two things, guys. Three things being combined in one single thought form. Number one, kids. Number two, sex. Number three, fucking homosexuality. In one thought form. People are like, oh, I heard some people saying, oh, we've got bigger problems to worry about than fucking drag queens teaching shit in schools. Are you kidding me? The shit they've been putting on the TV is the reason we live in such a violent, crazy, drugged up world. And now you want to keep throwing gasoline on the fire? And you think that's going to somehow make civilization here on Earth any better? It's inarguable. But they're doing it right in front of our fucking eyes. They're desensitizing people towards pedophilia. And they're pushing towards policies within that direction. You see, these people, they love mind maps, sort of like the mind map I'm developing now. They love a fucking mind map. Whoever the people who are running the fucking world, they love mind maps. Oh, let's look at humans. Okay, cool. We got the TV. Let's just start broadcasting them sex. Let's just start, So now you've got increased temptation. Now there's sex everywhere you look. Families are going to have a harder time to stay together because of infidelity, adultery, and sexual immorality. So we're going to destroy the family structure. Okay? Then we're slowly going to start introducing our laws, slowly desensitize people towards these things, put sex in movies and shit, which was never really allowed before. The human consciousness was not there. And then, we'll desensitize them through the movies, and then we will, we'll own the politics, and we'll do this, and we'll do that with whatever stupid, crazy-ass mind map of insanity these people have drawn up. And we are going to push humanity and programming them towards becoming desensitized to all this shit. Why? I don't know. It's an easy way to destroy human beings. You want to destroy human beings? No problem. Throw sex in front of their face continually and feed them drugs. Let them destroy themselves. They'll destroy themselves pretty quickly. But it's, their little plan didn't really work as well, because what happened when they started putting sex and desensitizing people to these laws and these policies and so forth and so on, and now making it legal to see this, to see that, and acceptable to see this and see that, they had a problem. They had a problem because the world just overpopulated and fucking its population doubled by twice the size in my lifetime. Billions of humans. And it's like, why are there way more humans than ever before? I don't know. Maybe it's because you've been throwing sex in front of their faces the whole time. More sex, more babies. I don't know. And if you look at divorce, divorce. Oh, dude, guys, we're so fucked. Earth is so fucked. Whatever master plan they've had within whatever mind map of theirs is at a very late stage of its development. They have done a lot of things successfully over the years. And they've gotten us to this point we're at now. Because people don't give a shit. They're like, it's okay. We just tiptoe towards these values and these principles more and more, and it'll be more acceptable. Some people, like my whole thing I've been thinking with gay people is like, okay, yeah. The whole thing of what is a man, what is a woman. Oh, I'm a woman, I'm a man. Okay, cool. Let's take all of y'all that are men claiming to be women, and then let's put you on an island. Let's just leave you on a fucking island somewhere. And then we'll be able to see if you're able to procreate. And then we'll be able to see if you will be able to ensure the survival of your pseudo-species. Because apparently it's all subjective now. Oh, sex is subjective, gender is subjective. I can just identify as a fucking attack helicopter if I want to. It's all subjective. Okay. What a great argument, guys. Let's take all of you gay motherfuckers and go throw you on a fucking island somewhere. And then see if you procreate and the existence of your fucking subhuman species continues or not. And that's going to sound quite harsh for a lot of people to hear. Because, maybe they got a gay this or gay that. To me, to be honest with you, I will ask gay people this. I'll ask them this question. I'll say, what do you value more? Do you value your eternal life more or your sexual preference? Which one do you value more? Because it's your choice at the end of the day. If you want to go ahead and make those choices, go ahead and make those choices. But when you start blasting it in front of everyone's face continually, it's a huge problem, guys. Ideas are dangerous. They're fucking dangerous. You can take a silly little idea and inject it into somebody's psyche, and that small little idea can destroy their whole entire mind. That's how dangerous ideas are. Or it can cause them to, one little idea, throw it in there, it starts a little spiral of thought, turn someone into a school shooter or some crazy ass shit like that. Like, listen, I'm going to speak about these topics nobody wants to speak about. It has to be spoken about. The world's insane. The policy, the people who are behind these policies, the same people behind the AI, the 15-minute cities, these smart cities, so forth and so on, biotech, etc. These people are fucking depraved, guys. They obviously are depraved. Look at what they're showing us on TV. Look at what they're putting in the music. It's a whole industry projecting filth to you continually. And everyone's like, oh, it's okay. Yeah, no, it's okay. Oh, it's just a gay guy. Yeah, well, look what your fucking gay guys have done. People are not going to like to hear this. They're not going to like to hear this. They're not going to like to hear this. Listen, if we look at along all species, we see there's a male, there's a female. They procreate together. That's how God created you. Sorry, human and human subjectivity and the Roman philosophy and the Greek philosophy. Remember, guys, it's the Greeks who a lot of these people look up to. It used to be legal in order to have sex with boys in Greece. The Romans were crazy about shit as well. Look what happened to their empires. The empires were imploded. Human civilization is the wildest trip ever. People don't learn shit from history. They don't even know history. They don't know fuck all about the history. That's why they don't learn anything from it. Look at the last empire, Greco-Roman Empire, destroyed. What did it was Babylon, yo. The Romans were Babylonian as fuck, dude. And when some guy came and was preaching like the gospel of goodness, they killed him. Like, that's how fucked it was. Like, you could bet your bottom dollar that homosexuality and everything was all, like, let's go back to Sodom and Gomorrah. You can bet your bottom dollar like kids were being sold as prostitutes, guys. I mean, look at some of the laws of some of these cultures that allow people to marry kids. That still exist today, like India, for example. Arranged marriages between kids and freaking adults. So we look at history, and within our history, what we see is these humans have gotten together, okay, and we started, remember, this conversation with the forbidden fruit. What is the forbidden fruit? Wanting to be God. Someone who doesn't know the fear of God will attempt trying to be God. Until one day you're faced with God and you're scared fucking shitless. And then do you realize that the beginning of wisdom begins with the fear of God. This world has no fear of God. That's why people are doing whatever the fuck they want to. Oh, we'll just get drag queens to teach kids and facilitate the growth of these new generations in their most crucial brain developmental phase. Yeah, no, when they're most susceptible, let's just go mind control the fuck out of them. And everyone's like, yeah, humans are like so fucking stupid. Oh, it's just drag queens, guys. Are you so fucking dumb and satiated that you don't have enough awareness to realize how much children can be influenced and how that influence can have long-term negative effects on their life, and not only their life, all of our lives. No, let's just grow up a fucking generation of degenerates who are so confused about their identity that they think a man is a woman because they're so fucking high on fucking drugs in America. And you've got to ask yourself, what are these Americans doing? It's not only America, it's all countries around the world, but let's look at America, for example. What the fuck are they doing? What the fuck are you doing over there in America? What the fuck are you guys doing? You fucked up everyone's mind. Congratulations. And it's obviously not the people in America, the average, everyday people. Well, they did, because they actually contributed towards this culture of depravity. It's no wonder you guys have drag fucking shows every fucking town you can think of, where you've got men who literally think that they're women. Why? Guys, they're not mentally well. I can do a psychiatric, fucking psychological evaluation on them just by having a couple of seconds to look at them, and I can tell you they're not mentally well. And it's no wonder they're not mentally well, because the way in which it is that America treats people who are spiritually sick, psychologically unwell, they just drug them. They just give you legal drugs from the moment you're in fucking school. And that's across the whole world now. America, they test it out, and then that rolls out across the whole world. And then we all have to suffer with this fucking problem of degeneracy and depravity across this earth. You got to ask yourself the question: what the fuck makes people think that gender is fluid? Oh, my identity. It's all about identity. My assigned identity. Yo, you guys are all having an identity crisis. You're all fucking high on drugs. Probably the legal drugs and the illegal ones. You guys are not mentally fucking sound. You may think you are, because those drugs may be working so well, convincing you that you know everything. Oh, I feel good, just pop this, pop that. Oh, manage my mood with drugs throughout the day and just assume that everything's going okay. Everything's fine. Of course, if you get some drugged up fucking kids, this is the truth. I'm sorry to say it. They're drugged up. The whole of America's on drugs, basically. If you really want to get down to it, and if I'm be honest with you, so you got a whole bunch of drugged up people in universities discussing topics about identity because they can't even have a single thought of clarity within their mind because they're so fueled up with chemicals. And then we're supposed to just say, "Oh yeah, guys, yeah, you're onto something." Identity politics. The number one the thing people need to identify as is modern day slaves. The sooner people start identifying as that, the sooner we're going to start seeing who the real enemies are and stop letting them indoctrinate the living shit out of us to the point where they don't even have to do the work anymore. They just stand back and let the kids do it. They just let the public run with it. You just feed the public a couple of discourse and narratives for long enough, you'll brainwash the shit out of them until eventually they do all the work for you. They do the propaganda for you. Door-to-door propaganda. Word-to-mouth propaganda. It's so fucked. The whole world's so brainwashed. They're so programmed. They're so indoctrinated. They're so drugged up. And they all think they know it. And then I want to listen, and then I have to listen to them. Drugged up, indoctrinated fucking people. Violent people. And they're going to tell me, oh, God doesn't exist. No, sorry guys. I'm not going to listen to you. You're the last fucking people I'm going to listen to. I've listened to humans my whole fucking life. I've heard a whole array of bullshit. I've spent so much time burning away my fucking earlobes listening to bullshit that humans come up with, that they speak about, that they regurgitate, that they repeat. And I've been indoctrinated and brainwashed not only by the TVs, but by the people who watch them. And I'm supposed to sit back and I'm just supposed to be like, no, this is totally normal, guys. This is acceptable. What you're saying makes sense. No, it doesn't make fucking any sense to me. You people are all fucking crazy. And you know what the problem is, guys? The people who enable these people to say, yeah, well done, congratulations. No, don't enable that fucking behavior. You're enabling insanity. Mental instability and insanity. You're enabling it. And we're normalizing it. And we're desensitizing ourselves to the fact that you live on an earth full of fucking crazy people. Come to South Africa, go to some town here, and you tell me whether or not humans are crazy or not. They're fucking nuts. And it's kind of scary because you got a whole bunch of, listen, let me explain something to you. This whole earth is a mental asylum that's treating their mental patients with psychotropic and whatever drugs. So you live, what I'm about to say is a little scary. But yeah, guys, you live in we're already in the dystopian society. We don't need to wait to get to the dystopian society. We're already in it. And we're living amongst crazy mental patients who are drugged up and drinking alcohol and fucking drugs and shit. And there's billions of them. There's billions of them. And then you've got some crazy rich people wanting to edit all their fucking wanting to edit their DNA. If you want to find out if God exists, yeah, carry on what you synthesize meat. Fucking, they're genetically modifying everything, guys. If you want to find out if God exists or not, yeah, go ahead, edit the human genome and then wait and see. Like Brazil. If I had gone to Brazil the day before that carnival, and I know I said this before, I'm going to say it again, it's such a great example. And I said to them, listen, guys, God exists, you guys better get your shit in fucking order. This place is straight up Sodom and fucking Gomorrah. And I don't know, you humans just think, oh, Jesus, the message of love, la 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 la. Like, yeah, I care about Jesus' message of love, but Jesus wasn't a fucking idiot. Jesus knew, he had wisdom. And yeah, he did something so selfless, but the guy was wise enough in order to know the human condition, to know that humans are fucking cooked in the head, yo. And if I went to Brazil the day before and I said, yo, you guys need to stop this shit now, this gay shit, and I'm going to say it as it is, like, people don't want to hear this sort of language, I'm going to say it as it is. They're pumping gay shit in front of my face all the time. I don't want to have a kid now. If I have a kid in this generation, I have to worry about my kid growing up around fucking all this gay homosexual shit. And then I have to worry about my kid's sexual identity being distorted and being confused when it doesn't need to be. Why the fuck would I want my child to grow up around a bunch of fucking crazy, drugged up fucking homosexuals? Why? So that my child can question his sexuality, question how God made him, whether the child is a man or a woman? Why the fuck would this is I'm not gonna have a child, yo. Until this apocalypse happens, until fucking Sodom and Gomorrah in real time, until I start watching natural disasters start swallowing up humans like there's no fucking tomorrow, until humanity is fucking humbled by the Lord himself, I will never have a fucking kid on this earth. Oh yeah, I should just go along with what you're saying. Oh no, it's all okay. Yeah, no. They're humans too. No, I'll tell you what, they're annoying fucking humans that are mentally fucking disturbed, probably couldn't get laid in whenever, and they're fucking high on fucking drugs, and they don't know their identity, and now you're telling them you're gay. You don't know your sexual energy. You don't know how sexual energy works. Just because you may feel something doesn't mean you're gay, bro. You know, it's sexual energy. Sexual energy moves throughout your body. And people haven't even been trained on sexual energy, on sexuality, on sexual identity. This is why we have this huge identity crisis. And I have to ask people this, what's more valuable, your eternal life or your sexual preference? It's such a simple fucking answer. Because what will men become in these days that it says in the Bible? They'll become lovers of self. Meaning that if you love yourself, you're going to feed yourself whatever bullshit you're ready to consume. Oh, this is totally fine. It's okay. I can behave like this. Nothing bad will happen. Nah, bruh. Who made you the authority, dude? Who made you the authority? So, you know, I sit and I think about what the fuck am I going to speak about in these videos, because there's so much information going through my head, and I'm looking at the world and there's so much stuff, and I'm like, I can't even really speak about God. If I want to speak about God, people don't want to hear about that shit. They want to hear about everything other than that. And I wondered to myself, like, what am I going to speak about? And like, while I'm wondering what am I going to speak about, I'm wondering like, yo, the world is so fucked up, dude. Fuck. Jeez, bro. Fuck. Humans are fucked. If there ever was a time for natural disasters on this fucking earth, it would be now. If it was ever the time for the return of the Lord Almighty himself, it would be now. Because I can guarantee you, if that doesn't happen, we're all fucking doomed. We're doomed. Guys, I've been alive for 31 years. I've watched this change across the space of 10 decades. I've seen the trajectory. You can hear what these guys have planned. They tell you about it. They tell you what's fucking planned, bro. I'm not speaking about conspiratorial shit. This is shit that's being put through in policies around the world. This is happening fucking now. In real time. And the whole world just carries on with their little cell phones and their fucking money and their legal and illegal drugs and their fast foods and fucking their pornography and their drinking and their alcoholism and the, you know, you walk around, you go into like a fucking a club somewhere and you're just watching like empty husks of humans who are soulless. And you just want to click the head, ding 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 ding, and you want to be like, is there anything inside there? Is there anything inside that head of yours? Are you there? Ding 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 ding. Hello? Bro, it's like watching like fucking the zombie apocalypse in real time. Seriously, like people are zombies, bro. Forget sheep, they're fucking zombies, dude. Walking around. Speaking about what they see on the news. Let's go pay for our luxury fashion clothes because fucking apparently this is what I need to be happy. Let's go spend 10,000% markup on a single item. Because that makes sense. Does it? And then we're going to talk about the sports. The sport. Children are dying in Africa. Shit's fucked. People are cooked. Fucking, bro, there's crazy shit happening. They want to bring robots in. It's just insane, bro. Like, if you listen to these globalists, dude, and you listen to the shit that they're saying that they have planned for us, you are like, you're just like, whoa. And the whole world's like, oh, Elon Musk, Smartlink, Tesla. Humans are actually so stupid. You know, the one time I was speaking to V, and she said, you know, I was such a fucking hopeless optimist. I was so naive and I was so gullible. She said, humans are really stupid. And I was like so defensive over humans. I was like, no, you can't say that. And after having time to think about it and to look around and to see the situation for what it is, yeah, the human IQ, whether it's amongst those that perceive themselves to be smart or less smart, and we're talking about wisdom here, right? Observational skills, awareness. You don't need book smarts to be intelligent. You just need to be aware. You just need to have a high level of awareness, to pay attention towards your surroundings, the information within your surroundings, what it is these crazy fucking people are planning and showing you, and so forth and so on. And you look at the human intelligence, even in first world countries that are supposed to have intelligent people, and you actually just look at it with like a magnifying glass and you're like, bro, oh shit, dude, we are so fucked, dude. Humans are not smart. I hate to say it, but it is true. Because look at how we treat each other. Look at how we treat animals, our environment, our home, our life. I don't see any sign of intelligent life forms anywhere. I just see we're de-evolving. Humans are becoming dumber and dumber and dumber. With so much information, with so much accessibility, humans are just becoming more fucking stupid than ever. Oh yeah, let's let the trans people teach our children. What, bro, what? Dude, what? Why? No, keep them the fuck away from the kids. And put them all on an island somewhere. And if they're confused about whether they're a man or a woman, well, find out if they're able to reproduce. It's really that fucking simple. I don't know how much more complicated it needs to be. You got a dick, you got a dick, you got a dick, you got a dick, you got a vagina. Is that confusing? I'm a woman. Let me pull down your pants, bitch. No, you're a man. You got a dick and a balls. You need to call me back. And then now they're making it illegal in Canada? What? To misgender someone? Holy fucking shit. We fucked. No matter where you go, I'm in South Africa. I'm dealing with poverty and fucking violence and shit in this fucking country. And like, we're just being screwed from everywhere you go. But then if you go, it's like, okay, well, let me go to Canada for some salvation. You go to Canada, it's got its own problems. Now you have to worry about someone's preferred pronoun. I'm a woman. Now you can go to jail, bro. You can go to jail if you misgender someone in Canada. It's insane. So basically, check this out. A guy comes dressed as a woman, or not dressed as a woman, because apparently that doesn't matter. And he's a man. I'm like, yeah. And I'm just supposed to be like, no, dude, I don't understand it. Sorry, I can't even say what I want to say. It puzzles my brain, guys. You're telling me that if dude is a dude and he's dressed as a dude, but he identifies as a woman, and I don't call him a woman, he can call the fucking cops on me and I can go to jail. Fuck you, bro. Let me pull your pants down, dude. Blip. Dick and balls. Fuck you. You're a man, bro. Fuck you, dude. No. And you're a man. Like, think about it, bro. Like, I was on a live video on TikTok the other day, and in TikTok there's so many like trans LGBTQ freaking live videos. It's insane. It's an epidemic. It's a fucking disease. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna come out and fucking say it. It's a fucking disease. It's a gay disease. Okay, like, oh, we don't believe in God. Yeah, okay, well, the homosexuals have the highest rate of HIV and AIDS. Do you think that's a coincidence? God's like, oh, the men want to fuck each other. Oh, no problem. Let them kill themselves. And everyone doesn't notice anything. Oh, we have cancer, we have diabetes, we have HIV and AIDS. God, fuck you, you're so fucking terrible. No, you humans are terrible. Look what you introduced into your diet. There's so much research studies on how meat increases your chances of getting cancer by 60%. You would think that your chance of getting a heart attack as a meat eater is 2 times or 3 times more likely than a vegetarian diet. I'm not trying to convert you. I know a lot of people don't hear me like to speak about eating animals and whatever, but the research clearly shows that it kills you. It's not a fucking mystery. But no, nobody wants to hear it. We don't want to hear that. We want to eat our meat. Okay, well, when you get your diabetes and you're on your deathbed or your child has leukemia, don't cry to God and be like, God, you're so fucking evil. Fuck you. No, don't. Don't do that. It's your fault. Own up. Own up. Look at all the chemicals. Look at all the drugs. Look at all the alcohol. Look at this. Look at that. No, you guys are killing yourselves. God's not killing you. You're killing yourselves. God's letting you kill yourselves. What the fuck do you think is going to happen if the humans, which they're doing right now, are playing with the human genome? The gene editing humans. What do you think is going to happen? What do you think's going to happen, bro? I think the Lord himself, I think we're about to see shit that you've never seen before. I think the apocalypse is here and it's fucking coming. And when people least expect it, it's something fucking huge is going to happen. And one way or another, I see many humans dying. Many. We haven't even begun to see death. You're about to. You're about to become very familiar with death. I hate to say it, but it's the truth. Honestly, guys, look at everything I've just mentioned now. Look at the trajectory and the direction humans are heading into. Look at the shit that they want to do. Look at the stories of civilizations that did that in the past. They all ended. They were destroyed. Sodom and Gomorrah, fucking Roman Empire, Greco-Roman Empire, Greek Empire. Pedophilia was acceptable, bro. It was acceptable. And it started with the gay shit. Who funded the LGBTQI+? NAMBLA, the Man Boys Association Club. We all know this. And then who funded NAMBLA? You know what I'll do with the pedophile? I'll fucking kill him. I think pedophiles are God's greatest gift to people like me. Give you a reason and an excuse to be able to kill someone and not feel bad about it. And then don't make me go into the anti-Semitic stuff. I'm not going to do that because you know how it is. It's illegal. We can't point at all the people who are funding all these policies and everything because it's illegal. We can't look at the ethnicity of the people who own everything in the world. It's illegal. It's anti-Semitic. So let's not go there. But these people have done such a good job in turning humans into filth. And the filth affects you. You live amongst the filth. The filth affects your mind. It affects the thoughts coming through your head. That's why I don't want to be anywhere near the filth. That's why I live on a farm, bro. I was so serious about getting away from any filth and sickness and anything that didn't represent God for me. Because God represents hope and salvation for me. No human does that, and they never will. Because I have absolutely no hope in humans. Placing hope in humans, very bad idea. Look what it's done to us. Over and over and over and over again for thousands of years. It's done nothing but destroy us. And now we're at the pinnacle. We're at the pinnacle of this destruction of human behavior, where humans are behaving like crazy, guys. This world's violent, bro. It's always been violent, dude. Why could have humans not have evolved beyond violence? They're violent. I mean, there is one good thing about being alive today. Humans are more sensitive than ever before. Because we've been living in a fear-based matrix. You know, this Baal-funded media circus that's been going on, that's been through years programming you to feel fear. You don't even know who you are. How can you know who you are if you've grown up your whole life being in fear? That's me. Because the TV, the media, the news, all this shit, that's their job. To code that shit into you, make you scared, make you docile, make you sensitive. If not that, angry. So humans are far less... Guys, I don't know what else to say. Honestly. I don't need to tell you. You can open your eyes and look up and look around you. I don't need to explain to you the situation. Fucking pick up a phone, put on the TV, look around you. The world will explain the situation to you. And I will explain to you that that human civilization, it is impossible for it to continue like this. And they want to lead us into some techno-dystopian future when we haven't even figured out core fundamental things of how to just remove violence out of the heart of man, and you want to go ahead and you want to produce robots? That's a real good idea, guys. Thankfully, our technology is not that great. A robot can still be hit by an EMP, and they still rely on very dangerous, malfunctioning lithium batteries. So lucky for us, the humans are not as technologically advanced as they say they are. Because if they were as technologically advanced as they say they are, we'd be living in the Terminator right now. Don't worry, we don't need humans to police humans anymore. We'll just use robots. They're starting to do that now, as you've seen. They've started to implement robotics into police forces around the world. And it was so funny. I remember a friend of mine, Lauren, she said she had a mushroom trip, and during this mushroom trip, she said, oh, it was so scary. She saw all these cameras and everything everywhere and robots all over the place. She said about 2 years ago. And I tried to calm her down and say, hey, don't worry, that's not going to happen. But it's crazy. It's happening right now. There's robots patrolling the streets, literally. Already. So I don't know why humans think that's a good idea. To create robots to police us? That's a fucking bad idea. Hackable robots as well, you have to remember that. Oh god, guys, it's like we're watching every bad sci-fi ever created play out in real time. It's like humans create these movies, they watch these movies, they get these fucking crazy ideas from these movies, and then they actually try them. The ones with enough money to try them. And we have to all be subjected by some crazy billionaires who are probably so far gone. I mean, you have to be so far gone you have to be so far removed from God and goodness and godliness and divinity. You have to be so far removed from it to be doing the shit these people are doing. I mean, how many news stories did I mean, they're not even news stories. This is just stuff that's happening around the world. So let's go back to what it is we said. First of all, the base plate that we had was humans were addicted to legal drugs, presented in psychiatric medication, illegal drugs, the chemicals in our foods, and then the media, and then the fucking pornography and the sex and whatever, and violence and hoo-ha. And here's us living in an asylum. Now, as if that's not bad enough, oh well, now the crazy people are, it's very clear that crazy people are behind these policies. Oh, you cannot mispronounce someone's pronoun, otherwise you'll go to fucking jail. Are you fucking insane? Oh, we're gonna go put robots on the streets, and then we're gonna figure out how to fucking create human cyborgs. We're gonna put chips. Bro, what? And the funny thing is, 3 years ago, if you told this to people, they'd be like, no ways, they're never going to do that. 3 years later, they're doing it right now. It's a reality right fucking now. They're never going to do that. Let's just keep drinking our beer, watching our sports. They're never going to do that. No, bro, there's currently robots walking the fucking streets with police forces, so I don't know what else to tell you. Also, we've got gay fucking trans people teaching children. Like, as I was saying earlier, I was on a TikTok, and a lot of these TikToks have got LGBTQ, just trying to trigger people and whatever. And because everything's trans now. It's like human behavior. It's like, oh yeah, we're all trans. No, you're not. You're just indoctrinated as fuck, and you're all high on fucking chemicals. And this is the cool in thing now. You have no formative identity within your own mind, so you're susceptible to going along with whatever the hell the crowd does. You're not trans, you're confused as fuck. And your enablers are your government, Hollywood, everyone. They're enabling you to fucking identify with whatever the fuck you want to identify as. We have women in men's sports. What other crazy shit? We've got gene editing taking place. We've had gene editing of animals, livestock, and plants happening for a long time. But now the gene editing is moving to humans. Isn't it crazy? So the only resolution I see, guys, and this is why I had to pause Earth United, I had to stop for a bit, and I had to figure out like what the fuck was going on and where I stood in all of this. And what is the path forward? And I'll tell you this much, guys, I've looked at every single variable. I can guarantee you right now that it's 9 billion people on this earth. No matter what you're going to do, you're not going to be able to go around and convince 9 billion people to start focusing on what's right instead of what's wrong. It's just not going to happen right now, unfortunately. Because you don't own the media, you don't own the social media applications. Even if you were to build a social media application, these people would just kill you if they need to. Get you out of the picture. Oh, you got too much influence? No problem, we'll take you out. So Earth's current trajectory with all the variables at play that I've just mentioned, we're headed on a collision course. You bet your bottom dollar. We're watching the destruction, the self-destruction of civilization in real time. But I mean, there's so many variables at play here, considering the technological advancement is of humans and the policies and everything, and all this, the identity politics and all that. We're at a crazy point in history. I'm not gonna lie to you. We're probably at the craziest point of history ever. And we check, there's natural disasters increasing and this and that and blah, 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 which I'd love to see more of, and I'm sure we will. And I will document and keep track of them here and on Patreon. Things have been a bit quiet lately. Florida was flooded like crazy. The airports were flooded. But what I see is humans' current trajectory, we're headed towards fucking, like basically, the only thing that can give us any hope is an apocalypse, to be so totally honest with you. This matrix, as you've seen, is destroying itself within the minds of man. And it's gotten super wacky and super crazy. This matrix is life, of course. It's not a computer, we're not in a fucking simulation. This is life, and life is very serious. It's very fragile, and it's very fucking important. And if humanity is allowed to carry on how it is now, we will destroy everything, including ourselves, without a doubt. We'll destroy the quality of living, we'll destroy the environment, we'll destroy our own genetics. If we don't, the robots will, if they do. So the way I see it, guys, is the only salvation we have for any goodness on this earth and actual progression of the human civilization, of people of peace, of love, of harmony, of mental soundness, of clarity. The only way we're ever going to get to that, guys, is with the destruction of the civilization that we're currently existing in right now. And to be quite frankly honest with you, the only thing that's going to bring forth this destruction, will be the hands of the people who are behind the civilization itself. And then, of course, the hand of God. Because if the hand of God does not intervene, we're fucked. But thankfully, the hand of God is intervening. And it's becoming more and more evident and apparent with each event that takes place. And we need an apocalypse. And we're going to get one. Because if we don't get an apocalypse now and there's not an actual reset, human civilization will continue to be its own custodian towards its own self-destruction. You can bet your bottom dollar. Gene editing, plant editing, genetic modification, cyborgs being created, artificial intelligence. It's like, do you guys really want to die? And you really want to kill us all in the process, because everything you're doing is dangerous to all of us, including yourselves. So, and to top it all off, you combine that with a failing financial system, failing world economy, interest at its highest point ever, the cost of living at its highest point ever, the fact that we get all of our stuff from shops. I mean, the billionaires are telling you they want to go ahead and they want to make it. They've been saying this for ages, but they're still going on about it. But they want to make it that water is not a basic human right. Okay, so what happens when it rains from the fucking sky then, bro? Is it not my right to drink that water? You know what I mean? So the way I see it, by looking through all these variables in my mind, is that the only way Earth's actually going to be able to successfully proceed forward anywhere is if the civilization's brought to a dramatic and immediate halt. And the only way I see that happening, because of how vast it is, humans have spread themselves throughout this Earth within this modern civilization and society it is that exists today. The only way I see that happening is through an seemingly unending barrage of one natural disaster after another, combined with events inspired by human error. And that's how it is, guys, that that's where this is all leading, one way or another. If you cannot see all these variables heading towards one outcome, the whole world, and being like, yo, something's gonna happen. Something's gonna happen, guys. And we need some sort of divine intervention. I can only hope and pray for that, to be quite frankly honest with you. Because if God doesn't intervene at this moment in time, what are you going to go do? Go mess with some country and its army? No, dude. The civilization has to destroy itself from within. You know, we have gatekeepers in every aspect of reality and society, where you can go, what you can buy, where you can travel. And there are people that are in the world and that heavily influence every country, one way or another. And they don't give a shit about us, clearly. And they don't care, they don't believe in God, clearly. Sometimes I wonder, do these people believe in the devil? But how can they believe in the devil and then not believe in God? Like, do you really want to play games with God? Is playing games with God a good idea? Are you sure you want to do that? You know, a good thing though is that people are a lot more scared to say shit about God. Look at Brazil. Going back to that story. They were parading Satan with a mock-up Jesus that, by the way, apparently ended up in a coma the next day. That same Jesus, right? And that same street got flooded, yo. The next fucking day. Lightning strikes the Jesus statue and Brazil gets pounded hard. And remember, Brazil has been getting pounded hard. They've been hit huge dust storms. But this one was like, yo, don't mess with God. You can fuck around and try find out. I dare you. You know, I'm not here to convince your faith. I'll just say, hey, you don't believe in God? Well, then you go ahead and you make fun of God and see what happens to you. The next day, the following days after those floods, people were in the streets praying, ah, Jesus, hallelujah, in the shopping centers, all singing together. Ah, la, 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 la. Yo, you motherfuckers, you're scared. You're scared. It's beautiful to see that, because the beginning of wisdom, the fear of God is the beginning of great wisdom. And you're scared. You're fucking scared, bro. You guys are just parading Satan down the street, dude. You guys got wiped out. Fucking floods scared the shit. Like, people were scared, bro. Like Turkey now. I'm sure people are scared, bro. People are sitting there in their apartments looking at the apartments that have fallen into rubble. I'm pretty sure they're taking a lot of time to think about whether or not God exists. Pretty sure the people in Brazil are taking a lot of time to seriously think about whether or not God exists, whether or not they believe that. I say fuck around and find out. But, you know, God's not someone you want to play with. If it is true what they say about God, then you don't want to play with him. You don't want to fucking play with him. So it's going to go back to that basic question. What's more important, your sexual preference or your eternal life? And the sanctity of your life? What's more important? You choose. We've been given free will, but look what humans are doing with this free will. And we just allow people to do whatever the fuck they want. That's the problem. Like, most of these policies and everything that's led up to this point is because humans have allowed it. Of course, it is very hard for them. But it's, you know, and then they want to make all these excuses. Oh, we're trying to survive. We're trying to do this. We're trying to do that. But you guys all have enough time and money to go drink, to go get together, to go eat, to do this, to do that. You can't tell me you don't have time. You humans have, all you have is time. All we have is time. You can't tell me that it's just the people who brought about these policies and these world changes' fault. It's the people that stood by and did nothing. But, you know, and some people did do stuff. They got up and they tried and they spoke their mind. But it didn't get anywhere. Because at the end of the day, this is mafia you're talking about. They don't give a fuck about your opinion. You're gonna go protest somewhere on some sort of issue. No, dude, nothing's gonna happen until people start raiding these people's houses, which you're starting to do around the world. I mean, I can say that this year we can expect so much more social instability, way more natural disasters, and it's just crazy fucking news in general. Humans are just gonna start behaving like crazy, like a fucking circus. And if the news hasn't made you scratch your head and wonder about how crazy humans are, it will. It's going to do that a lot. But humans are so misdirected and misguided. So on the one end, I do have empathy and compassion towards him, but we have no leadership, no good leadership, and we just have the leadership that we have. They're all insane, and you've got insane people leading insane people. It's kind of bad, the situation we're in. I'm not gonna lie and tell you it's good. All I can do, all I'm doing is like focusing on God, dude. Like this whole situation that I've been through and that the world's going through made me focus on God like you can't believe, because I needed God in order to stay alive. Okay, and once you get to that point of needing God to stay alive, you start to take God very seriously. When you start to realize, like after the experiences I've had, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm not fucking with God. Like God's real. Like that's the point that I got to. And I was like, I'm not playing games with God. Fuck no. You want to play games with God? Go play games with God. I'm not doing it. Nope. Do you think I want my life to turn to shit? No thanks, I'm good. The world's already chaotic as it is. I don't need any more drama. The only one that's providing me any sanctity in life is God right now. Where? So you think I'm gonna ruin that? Are you crazy? The world's fucking nuts as it is, bro. You got a police state, police going around, policing everyone, scaring everyone, intimidating everyone. Just keeping people living in fear no matter what. And that's what they expect and want from us, for us to live in fear. So I've had to spend a lot of time getting rid of a lot of my fears, and the only ways in which it was that I could get rid of those fears is through faith in God. I'm not going to lie to you. This environment has affected me as much as it would affect anyone, you know? Like, people are nervous and anxious. No wonder they are. I mean, I don't blame them. Like, fucking, we live in such a violent, crazy-ass world, which has only ever known violence and judgment and betrayal and just all this nasty-ass shit and oppression and enslavement. We haven't known anything else, and I want to know something else. But I don't see a bright light without God in that picture, yeah. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't see a bright light in salvation through the hands of mere mortals that want to guide me in this direction, that direction. I don't see any salvation through another human on this earth. I don't see it. In fact, what's happened is I've grown to heavily distrust humans, and I've grown to dramatically trust God. That's what's happened. So I'm grateful all of this has happened, because I've looked back in my life and I've been like, yo, the only reason I'm still alive is God. Seriously, alive and not in jail and whatever to this day. And having food in my belly and my family being okay. God. And humans, they've just caused nothing but pain for me. Pray to a human. Doesn't work. Pray to God. Never regret it a day in your life. Go pray to a human. That's a problem. You got humans praying to humans, whether they're aware of it or not. And they're fucking leading them to hell in a handbasket, fucking real quick. So I don't want to make it so doom and gloom. I think it's a great opportunity to practice faith. I've had so many opportunities in life where I was in extremely hairy, pickly situations, and I had no choice but to practice faith in God. And God got me out of them every single fucking time. So I look at what we're going through now as an opportunity to practice faith in God. Hey, you can put faith in yourself. You can put faith in another human. See how far that gets you. I've tried it. It doesn't really get you too far. So I know there's happiness, there's a silver lining, because throughout all the patterns and everything I've seen in my life, there's a silver lining, there's a pattern, there's a code. And that gives me a lot of faith, and it gives me a lot of hope. So no matter how crazy the world seems to get, I still have hope, and I can still see the light. No matter how dark it may seem to get, just keep focusing on the light. in any shape or form. Anything that can give you hope. Hope is a real thing. It's not just some fantasy. It's not just some fairy tale. It's real. And we require it to keep us going. Without hope, we have no motivation. We have no inspiration. We've got nothing. We're sitting ducks floating in the water. Never lose hope. Never lose your most important source of that hope, you know. We may only be able to see what's happening here on Earth, but I can guarantee you there's so much more beyond our comprehension and perceptual abilities that we're unable to see. So to be very naive to make certain conclusions and assumptions when in this moment in time your very life may depend on it, and your family's life and the future of Earth. I wish for an Earth that's no longer violent, no longer crazy and delirious, no longer stuck within repetitive cycles of endless madness. And I see that day, I see it in the future, and it brings me warmth and it brings me hope. I don't think humans are so completely terrible. There's amazing, beautiful humans out there that have shown me nothing but love and kindness, and I really wish I could find all of them. And just, I honestly believe those are the humans that will inherit this earth. I believe things are going to get so crazy on earth, guys, that you're going to be forced to have nothing but faith to keep you alive if you're so far removed from God. Your faith is what will keep you alive, keep you happy and your family secure. And I honestly think that's how crazy things are going to get, guys. And the writing's on the wall. It's so clear. It's so evident. It's never been more clear. Like, Earth's in for one hell of a time. And we are, you know, sometimes I feel depressed when I think about it. But I guess to know that we're alive now and in the rare, like super duper rare moment in history, it's kind of exciting to watch these things play out, and for the fabric of reality to bend before our very eyes, and our relationship to ourselves and our consciousness and our own realities to change in ways in which it is we may never have expected, and to see this pre-apocalyptic movie play out before our very eyes. It excites me because it shows me that there is something happening. So if you feel like there's not something happening and that it's just craziness and we're just stuck in a repetitive cycle of madness and that's super depressing and whatnot, there's hope. I hope to give you hope. I don't think we're destined for endless madness, guys. I don't think that's the purpose of existing. I don't think darkness will reign forever. I don't think ignorance will reign forever, but I do believe we're in some pretty apocalyptic times and some stuff's going to play out. And we're going to watch it happen. Things are going to change like never before. And all I can say to you is, yeah, it gets doomy and it gets gloomy, and when we look at a lot of this bad stuff, which we have to take a look at sometimes, which is the purpose of a lot of these videos, there's still hope, there's still light, there's still warmth. No matter how cold the world gets and how cold the world's heart gets, don't let it make your heart go cold. Keep your heart warm. That's what gives you your warmth, your specialness, your life. Don't lose that. Never forfeit it, never let go of it. It's important. Your soul, your life is important in one way or another. And if that wasn't the case, you wouldn't be here today. And we're in some crazy ass times, and they're pretty freaking apocalyptic. So, but there's a silver lining, there's light at the end of this tunnel. Hey Jesse, hope you're keeping well. We all need to keep our vibrations high no matter what. How bad it gets, we'll eventually get into our fantastic new world. Absolutely. And that's attitude we have to have. So we've been indoctrinated our whole lives. We have to reprogram our minds. We have to indoctrinate ourselves with positivity and faith and happiness and love and loyalty and honor and respect and kindness. We have to program ourselves, guys. It's important. One way or another, you affect and influence people. Your life is important in more ways than you can possibly imagine, because we don't know what it means to exist. We're exploring and discovering, and that's expanding and developing every day. Anyway, the power's about to God. Thank you guys so much for your support on Patreon. I love you to bits. I need to make some food before the power goes out for the next 4.5 hours. I love you guys so much. Hopefully I wasn't rambling on for too long here. I'm sorry it took me as long as it did to post, but I'm gonna make another live video this evening to make up for the lost time, and I'll figure out what we'll speak about. I'm gonna try to keep it super duper positive in the next video. This video was just looking at the huge mess it is we're in. It's important to be aware of that, and then to figure out like how do we transmute that, how do we evolve beyond that, and become these happy beings we're destined to be. So I love you guys lots. I'm sending you lots of love. I have to go make food now before the power goes out because I'm like starting to get hungry. I love you guys lots. I'll see you soon.